Hey everybody, welcome to part two of our deep dive into Destiny's descent into depravity. This is sort of the tweet that, to my understanding, kick-started the whole thing. Um, it's in a response to a tweet from Rokana, who's a progressive Democrat, whom I do admire. Um, he says, first I'll read Rokana. He says, the next time an executive at McDonald's or Walmart says that they can't afford to pay their workers a living wage, ask them why their CEOs are paid over 1,000 times as much as the median employee. So, Destiny, in response, says, why can't liberals talk about economics without it being so cringe? McDonald's CEO has made up $21.8 million last year. McDonald's has 1.7 million employees. If the CEO gave up his entire salary and evenly distributed it to each of his employees, they would have enough for a few Big Macs. um, there's several kind of things to break apart here. I think let's just start out with why can't liberals talk about economics without it being so cringe? I mean, okay, fair enough. I sometimes say that when Republicans talk about economics, it's cringy. I think it's cringy, but I'm sure Destiny didn't intend for this tweet to just be like a scathing "why the left is wrong" type um manifesto, but like you still have to sort of put a little bit more reasoning into your statements. Like, what's cringy exactly about it? I mean, so going on, he's basically saying, hey, if we redistribute the salary of the McDonald's CEO, only every worker would only get enough for a few Big Macs, and that's true. But I think Destiny's sort of misinterpreting what Rokan is trying to say. He's trying to draw attention to the sheer discrepancy between the pay of the CEO and the pay of the median employee. Now, I mean, Destiny later goes on to say that, well, we need managers, we need CEOs, they're a vital part of the company structure and they keep the, company going and yada yada yada. But in doing so, he kind of puts down the workers. He says that they're too foolish to run their own workplace. They don't have the technical expertise. But that's a different argument. What I think Destiny overlooked was definitely the discrepancy factor between CEOs and your average worker. There is no justifiable reason for which a CEO should be paid 1,000 times more than a worker. I mean, anybody who's worked in a kitchen in fast food knows it's not an easy job. It's hard work. You have to stand for hours. It's loud. It's greasy. It's gross. There's a lot of cleaning involved. You have to, if you work cash register, you take a lot of shit from a lot of people. You get drunk people coming in. Uh, it's it's not a lazy man's job. In other words, CEOs or in this case, let's just use the shareholders. They literally contribute no labor whatsoever, and they make a certain chunk of the change that the company makes off the back of the labor of the workers. I mean, this capitalist class exploits workers. We can talk about the labor theory of value, which, is pretty much the core of Marxist uh, economics. But according to Destiny, this is cringe. All of this is cringe. And all of this is liberalism as well. Rokana, from what I understand, is more of a social democrat, but we can argue potato all day long. What I thought would be interesting is in part three, we start to examine the debate that he had with Hassan Abi, which is I'm a fan of Hassan. I think he's a cool guy. Um, and so I am looking forward to watching it. Thank you very much.